Hey guys, my name's Jared Beckwith. I'm a registered EEG technologist. I just got done doing the night shift, so I've been doing a travel contract at a children's hospital. It's been a great experience, my first time as a travel EEG technologist. If you guys haven't done it yet and you're in the field of EEG, definitely would recommend, guys. Definitely would recommend. As long as you don't have anything holding you down, it's great. You get to travel, see the world, and it pays good too. But today, I just wanted to talk about my experience during the night shift, just to give people who are interested in the career of EEG a little bit of insight into what we do as EEG technologists. So, we get into work. When we get there, we get report on the pre-existing patients who are on EEG monitoring. And then after that, a few hours pass by, boom, we get an order come in. So, okay, I look at it, look at the history, check out why is this EEG being ordered. I found out it was a baby, which is really common at this kind of hospital since it's a children's hospital. You get tons of kids, neonates. So this is a new evolution in my career as an EEG technologist. I have to learn to be good with babies. And that's what I'm talking about today. So I got the opportunity to hook up this little baby. So the doctor ordered it. They weren't sure if the baby was having seizures, because with babies, it's kind of hard to tell. It's not like they can talk to you and tell you how they're feeling. So some seizure-like activity, potentially. They thought probably not, but better safe than sorry. And I told the resident doctor, anything for the babies, don't worry about it. I'm on the job. When I got there was multiple nurses. They were trying to do IV stuff. So I'm kind of just a little bit behind or onto the side, just trying to slowly, one wire at a time, get the wires on, tape them on. And interesting with babies is that there's a different electrode system, at least with newborns. Since the head isn't big enough for a normal set of electrodes, you skip a few, and there's a couple special electrodes that we use on babies that aren't in regular hookups on adults. So I put some electrodes on the chin to record the EMG, or muscle activity, on the baby's chin, and I found out the reason why this is important is because babies, you're gonna have a lot of sucking artifact. Let's say the baby has a pacifier, it's gonna create some noise on the record, rhythmic noise too. So as you guys know, or if you're an EEG tech, you know, seizure activity is usually pretty rhythmic and it stands out from the background. So if you're seeing rhythmic activity on the baby's EEG, is the baby using the pacifier, or is it having some rhythmic seizure-like activity? Guys, I'm learning new stuff every day. Even though I've been in the field for over 5 years now, I'm still learning new stuff, and I'm here on this travel EEG adventure. It's been great so far, guys. Gladly, the people at this hospital have been great. Made lots of new friends here. And oh yeah, one more thing about the chin monitors. It's kind of hard to make them stick. You got the babies crying, their arms are going up, they're swatting at it, and sometimes they'll get the electrode and then it'll come off. I've learned you really gotta tuck it underneath the chin wrap, tape it down good. Don't give the babies any room to take the wire off, because if you give them an inch, they'll take the whole, at least the chin leads off. They can't really reach up top for their head. All those stayed on good, but my chin ones, they kind of kept coming loose, or because the baby was turning to the left, to the right, its arm was going up, it was trying to take it off. But luckily the NICU nurse was able to just tuck it back under the chin wrap, and it wasn't too bad. So I had a successful neonatal EEG hookup today, guys. So super excited about that. And what else? So I guess another interesting thing was the order came in as a routine EEG in the middle of the night, like 1, 2 a.m. I'm thinking, they might have wanted a continuous EEG to go through the whole night and not a 30-minute routine. It's kind of odd coming in the middle of the night. Like, you might as well just keep the EEG on. And the reason why I suspected that is because about 3 years ago, I was on call. I was on days and I was on call. I got called in at like 2 a.m. to the hospital to do an EEG, and the doctor ordered a routine. I was thinking, oh, just 30-minute routine and then go back home and go to sleep. Well, I do the EEG, I take it off. I learned that the doctor actually wanted continuous EEG. They just put in the wrong order. I mean, if it's like 2, 3 a.m., the doctors can put in the wrong orders. I mean, I guess I just didn't know because I was only like maybe 2 years into the job. I didn't suspect anything. I was just like, oh, I see this order, I do this order. So that's why it's good to confirm if you have any suspicions. That's why I confirmed with the doctor, and they're like, "Yeah, actually, Jared, can we run it overnight?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's actually what I suspected that they wanted." So yeah, we got that figured out, and yeah, it was a good baby recording. If you're looking to pass your EEG board exam or become an EEG technologist, learn the ropes, go to my website, eegboardprep.com. There's free demo questions. Just sign up with your email, check it out. You guys won't regret it. And also, if you want an EEG machine to practice by hand, it's good to get hands-on practice. Check out my website, jaredbeckwith.com. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll keep you guys updated on my travel EEG adventure. Thanks, guys.